So your homework is finishing up these notes. So what we want to talk about here is solving the inequalities. For the most part, solving inequalities or getting the variable by itself is done the same way as solving equations. That's what you just had your test on. To isolate the variable, use inverse operations. Like we said, the opposite, inverse means opposite. The opposite of add is subtract, opposite of multiply is divide. So in order to solve this inequality, x plus 2 less than 4, all right? So in order to solve it, we need to, well, we all know our first step, and it's not changing, is I'm going to draw this line. Because that's a less than symbol there, I'm going to bring a less than symbol down to the end. Now, I have my add 2. Now I'm going to highlight that add 2. And so what's the opposite of add 2? Hopefully you just said minus 2. And whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. Those scratch out, and I have x less than 4 minus 2 is 2. So in order to solve x plus 2 less than 4, we need to subtract 2. Taking a look at x minus 2 less than 4. In order to solve that, we're going to have to, hopefully you said, add 2. I draw my line, bring down my inequality symbol. I'm going to highlight that 2. And so the opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Those 2's cancel. X less than 6. Not too bad. So now I have 2x greater than 6. I'm going to highlight that 2. Now, again, I want to draw that line. The opposite of multiply, remember 2x means 2 times x. I'm going to divide by 2, divide by 2, and x is going to be greater than 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we need to divide by 2. And finally, I have x divided by 2. I highlight that divide by 2. Again, I'm going to draw my line. Maybe I want to draw a regular line and not a highlighted one. I'm going to go ahead, highlight that 2, draw my line. In order to solve this, I'm going to need to multiply, all right? Multiply by 2. I know I say don't use that symbol, but I'm just using shorthand here. It means multiply by 2 in this case. So we're going to multiply by 2, multiply by 2. These 2's cancel, like those did up there. And x is greater than 12. Not too bad. We're pretty used to this. We've seen this. We've done this. You know, nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary. So to describe the solution of 6 plus y less than 10. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to solve this. I'm going to highlight that 6, all right? And then I'm going to draw my line and bring down my less than symbol. Because that's a positive 6, I need to subtract 6 from both sides. And I end up with y less than 4. Now, so let's see here. The value of y is a number less than or equal to. I already know that this is trash because it says or equal to. It's not. There's no line underneath that less than symbol. So A is trash that I can slash. The value of y is a number greater than 4. We know that this symbol means less than, so that's trash. We can slash. The value of y is a number equal to 3. Well, that just doesn't make any sense. And then the value of y is a number that is less than 4. Because y could be 3 for C, but it's not. That's not the only answer. That's why we have to choose D. So here we have solve the inequality n divided by 2 less than or equal to 10 and graph the solution. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. Less than or equal to 10. Going to highlight my 2. All right, and I'm going to draw my line. So I know I need to multiply by 2. These guys cancel. I'm left with n less than or equal to 20. So now to graph it, you don't need to draw from 0 all the way up to 20. Don't go all crazy. I'm just going to draw my 20, put my circle, color it in, and because my arrow is going that way, looking at my inequality symbol, I'm going to color in going that way. So now what we're doing is we're solving the inequality. Now we're graphing it on the number line. Okay, let's try 2y less than or equal to 6. So 2y less than or equal to 6. I'm going to draw that line at the bottom of the line. I haven't been reinforcing this very well, but I want you to do this. Look at the bottom of the line, draw your symbol. Otherwise, you're going to make mistakes and put equal sign. Highlight that 2. All right, highlighting the 2. So now what I know that I need to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide by 2. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other, so divide by 2. This cancels. I'm left with y. I should have brought that down by my sign, right? Oops. I'm left with y less than or equal to 3. So here's my 3. Color in my circle. And again, I'm going to the left. Okay. Here we go. All right, what I'd like you to do is to go ahead and read this word problem. I'll read it out loud for you in case you're having a hard time seeing it on your small screen. It says, to join the school swim team, swimmers must be able to swim at least. All right, I'm going to even highlight these key words. At least 500 yards without stopping. Let n represent the number of yards a swimmer can swim without stopping. Write an inequality describing which values of n will result in a swimmer making the team. Graph the solution. So I want you to write an inequality, n and a value, and draw it on a number line. Next one, Sam earned $450 during winter vacation. He needs to save $180 for a camping trip over spring break. He can spend the remainder of the money on music. Write an inequality to show how much he can spend on music, then graph the inequality. Try to figure out both of these. We'll talk about them in class. All right, finally, let's go ahead and take a look at this final rule. When multiplying or dividing by a negative, well, isn't that lovely? By a negative number, all right? When the coefficient, that's the number that's beside the variable, okay? If you have 2x, 2 is your coefficient. If you have x over 2, 2 again is your coefficient. When the coefficient is a negative number, you must switch the inequality sign. So what that means is this, all right? I have negative 2m here for a. I'm going to draw my line just like we always do. Because that number right beside the variable is negative, before I do any math whatsoever, I'm going to switch it from a greater than to a less than. All right, now I can go ahead and solve it. That's all. That's the only major thing that I need to do. Now I can go ahead and solve it. Divide both sides by negative 2. And m is now less than negative 10. Negative 6z less than 36. Again, draw my line. Because that's a negative 6 right there, I'm switching my symbol. Now I do what I would do just regular math. I highlight my negative 6, divide by negative 6 on both sides, and z is greater than negative 6. Finally, I have y divided by negative 4. Okay, so I'm going to draw that line. That coefficient is negative, so it's going to switch to a less than or equal to. Highlight that negative 4. I'm going to multiply by negative 4. All right, and so I have y less than or equal to negative 4, because 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So you only flip the inequality when you're multiplying or dividing by the negative variable to get the variable by itself, not when the constant is negative. The constant is just the number that you're adding or subtracting. So what I'd like you to do, please, all I want you to do, I don't want you to solve D, E, F, or G, or D, E, F, or H. What I want you to do is to write, flip, yes or no beside these. Do you flip it or do you not flip your symbol? Okay? Thank you.